So today, during the Corona apocalypse, we are going to talk about becoming a real estate agent. Hey Andrew, is it backwards on your screen or is it just backwards on mine? Now is an awesome time to get into real estate. Here are a few reasons why to get started. I'm sure you guys have heard the term redistribution of wealth. So that's where, right, you take money from the rich and they give it to the not so rich. Well, right now, this is the real estate market, and it's chopped up, let's say 2,000 different ways. So each real estate agent or real estate team has what's called a market share. Well, if what happens is what I think is going to happen, essentially what we may see is there may be quite a few people in sales and in really any industry get out. If we're looking at massive market disruption and we're looking at changes in real estate, not necessarily drops in value, but whenever crazy things happen, things change, and this can be a great opportunity for the ones that have positive attitudes and a great work ethic to get their unfair share of the market, because right now things are going to start changing. We don't know what the future holds, but we will soon find out. So, do I want to become a real estate agent? That's kind of a gnarly statistic right there. So the National Association of Realtors states that 87% of real estate agents get out of the business within 5 years of starting. So, what does that mean? That means that the reason people got in, make your own schedule, this is easy money, I want to be millionaire, $1 million listing guy, drive around all day, yell at people, and get $100,000 commission checks. Well, this is true, and the stuff you see on TV isn't real. What it takes to be successful in the real estate business is consistency. And to me, what consistency means is you have to treat your real estate career just like you would treat any other job. If you sporadically work real estate, you sporadically make calls, sporadically write offers, train a little bit but not very often, the results are going to show up sporadically like in your paychecks. But if you treat it like a job, right? If you go work for Costco, you are going to show up at the same time every day. You're going to diligently work throughout the day and you're going to expect a regular paycheck. So if you treat real estate that same way, you'll have a very similar result. And if you don't treat real estate that way, you will have a sporadic result. So consistency is just simply applying pressure evenly over time, and you'll avoid this. So I have no business. I called all my friends and family. I got some business. I work my deals. I have no business. Oh no, this is like a COVID-19 case. And then you work some more, but you got to work your deals, and that's the typical cycle of a single agent. Right? If you have to do all of your own marketing, which is probably going to be pretty sparse if you're on a shoestring budget, and then you have to do all of your own contract writing, transaction process, negotiating, opening escrow, and then you'll have time to get clients when you're slow, and then when you get busy, you won't have time to get more clients, and then you'll end up with none again. So what we do as a team is we even this out for you as well. Because we have 2 full-time transaction coordinators. I have a full-time marketing gal. And we're a sales team of 5 right now, and I'm looking to hire 4 more by the end of this month. Because what we have is we have a foundation and we have systems in place to ensure your success as long as you're willing to put in the work. And that really is the key, is the execution of all this. So we have consistency and we have execution. You think is that big enough to read? What does the slideshow say?
Maybe
Okay. So a single agent really is a thing of the past, and it's becoming more and more so. I think that will actually come into play even more now. Due to a lack of professionalism, right? Showing up in board shorts and a t-shirt to showings, it's not cool. You always need to dress like you can afford the product that you're selling. So if you're dressed like a chump, you'll get treated like a chump. And I don't care how long you've been selling real estate, you need to dress like a professional. Like I talked about, the inconsistency of working, the lack of lead generation of a single agent is a huge problem, as well as not treating your business like a business, kind of like I talked about. So when you're new in real estate, okay, this is you, and then you pass your test, so you might have a slight uptick in your perceived abilities. Ben, when you got your real estate license and then came to work selling real estate, did you realize that the real estate licensing taught you nothing about the job you're about to do?
100%.
That's super common.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm licensed. I'm licensed. You like have your card, you like show people. Licensed to make
I've
money,
done
dog. Okay, you show up to the real estate office, you get dumber. At least you feel dumber. Now this is you on day one. The reason that is because you have your license and you realize you have no idea how to find a client, how to value a house, how to negotiate a contract, how to open a lockbox. Pretty much all you know at this point is you know what a kitchen is and where the bathroom is because there's a toilet in there. Right? And then over time, you learn. But if you're a single agent, who are you learning from? Kat, who are you learning from if you're a single agent?
It has to be other agents in the office.
Other agents in the office. So what's interesting about the other agents in the office is they're your competition. So are these other agents really interested in training their competition that could potentially knock them off of a deal later on?
Not really.
Probably not. So when that happens, you have incentives that are disaligned, right? They may help you with a small thing, give you a quick piece of advice, but they probably want to get away from you as fast as possible because the last thing they want is another agent coming in to get their, of course I erased it, their share of the market. So you're going to stumble and then hopefully eventually start getting knowledge if you're good and you're training yourself, you're going, attending webinars, etc. So what I like to do is shorten that curve. So you start your licensing, you're here. You feel a little bit smarter once you get licensed. Instead of this happening, if you join my real estate team, we're gonna accelerate that because now we're aligned. You work with me, we share in the commissions, and what you will learn working for me will change your life. It's gonna change the way that you see the world, and what the knowledge you gain here will pay you for the rest of your real estate career. My goal is every single person that works for me or works for the team ends up a better person and a more knowledgeable person for the rest of their lives. If I teach you how to negotiate, if I teach you how to generate your own business, and I teach you how to be consistent in your life and how to work on a calendar, will that help you in your family life? When your wife wants to go to dinner at 5 o'clock on Friday and you actually have a calendar and can say, yeah, I can do that. Or you say, no, I can't, but I'm free on Saturday. When you show up to work every day at 9 a.m., do you know where you're going to be every morning?
Yes.
When we do our sales training at 9:35 a.m. every single day, and then when we call from 10 to 11. Monday through Friday. So this is what our schedule looks like. We keep it super simple. You're expected to be to work at 9. You're expected to attend our stand-up sales meeting at 9:35. You're expected to call people from 10 to 11. And we also teach people there's 3 ways you receive leads. 1, you earn them. 2, you receive them. And 3, you buy them. So those, when you're making your calls from 10 to 11, you know you're doing one of 3 things. You're either taking leads that I paid for you, You're receiving leads from our database that our marketing gal does, or you earn them. You earn them by calling strangers, for sale by owners, expired listings, etc. Uh-oh, are we growing to be larger than 10? Is the Honorable Kate Brown going to come nuke us? So if you take nothing else away, if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, you need to know that there's 3 ways you get leads. You either earn them, you receive them, or you buy them. We do all 3 of these, and we do all 3 of these extremely well. We pended 5 deals in the last 2 days in spite of this pandemic. Let's see. Lindy Chapman, awesome real estate agent, said the traditional system no longer operates in line with what the consumer needs in the 21st century. You guys ever heard of Amazon?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You ever heard of FedEx?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is Amazon successful?
Because they're convenient.
They beat the competition in price. Inconvenience.
They come to you, you don't go to them.
And they've become really good at doing what they do.
Shipping. Prime. You ever go to Target and you're waiting in line to pay them? And you drove to Target and you had to park, and then you had to walk into Target, and then you had to find it, and you realized it was more expensive than it was on Amazon, and then you waited in line. Or you can just click, 2 days, bang, it's there. That's our competition. Our competition isn't who we think it is. Other than ourselves, our biggest competition is the convenience that the marketplace is giving. And as a single agent, if you are showing a house at 4 o'clock, can you show 2 houses to 2 people at 4 o'clock?
No.
No.
So now, is that convenient for your client when you say, I'm busy?
No.
If you're on my team and that happens, there's someone else that can take that for you. Like, hey, Ben's got 3 showings at 4 o'clock today. I'm available and Matt's available to cover him. That way, Ben's client gets the Amazon service of convenience. And when that client wants an offer written, we have multiple transaction coordinators in the office. So Ben's driving around and the offer's getting written. So they can get their offer accepted quickly. We use DocuSign. I'm sure everyone has DocuSign. But can you use DocuSign and get an offer written when you're driving around if you're a single agent?
No.
No. So now your people are waiting, multiple offers, lots of pressure. It's the house they love. And now the agent, instead of being the avenue to their success in buying the transaction, is in the way because they're too busy. Getting your real estate license. So if you don't have your real estate license yet, I've got a couple tips for you. This says don't be cheap. I've got a guy who was cheap, and he bought the cheapest real estate training that there was. It was hundreds, thousands of pages of text. And it took months and months and months to read through it, and it was super hard to learn that way. Spend the extra dollars. I recommend Online Ed. They should sponsor this. I don't know how much it costs, and it doesn't matter because you need to buy it because it's videos and it's audio and there's some reading to it. So you can actually get through the stuff and learn it. Just like your real estate business you should treat like a business, you also need to treat your real estate training like a business. This is going to be a huge indicator for you whether or not you should get into this business. If you are not able to get through your real estate licensing quickly and efficiently, which means making a schedule and sticking to it and doing it consistently, what on earth do you think is going to make you a good real estate agent if you can't be a self-starter? I did my real estate training in 3 weeks because I was motivated. I did it every single day and I did it till it was done. And also, the last thing is execute. The smallest good deed is far greater than the grandest intention. If you're going to do it, do it. Don't think about it. Don't be philosophical about it. I think I do this in every one of my seminars. Everything is in the execution. So, Online Ed is what I recommend. Do not go with the cheapest one. Schedule it and do it. What makes us stand out? So I kind of went over this. I need to follow one or the other. So we're in the office every day. And that consistency compounds. Consistency compounds. So in the office every day at 9. Sales meeting 9:35. You call from 10 to 11. We also have on Fridays, we have contract training. We're some of the few people that actually know what the real estate contract says. We understand it. Real estate contract's like a machine. If this happens, then that happens. If this happens, then that happens. Time frames. So we train on this stuff to make sure we're sharp. And it's also a fun fact that every single year, the purchase agreement changes. So usually every January, I think it wasn't until March this year. But the contracts always change, and that's something that you need to be aware of. If you're representing a client that's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and you miss something in there, that could be a huge issue down the road. Consistency throughout the day. Mentorship. With these 4 hires, you're going to be trained by me and our other top salespeople. And again, we're in alignment with you. We're all on the same team. So if you don't know something, you come to us and we're going to explain it thoroughly until you completely understand it. And then we're going to get on the phone with you and your client and make sure your client understands it. So everyone's getting service at the highest level. And we also help you set appointments. Huh, Logan?
Correct.
Good example. Logan's out driving around, needs something sent out, hits me with the guy's email, got it done. No waiting. Oh, yes, right? If you go out on your own, your mentors are your competition. That's just a reality. There may be some lackey in the office that's helping with training, but do you really want training from someone that's not like a high producer? You may learn some bad habits. Just saying. Want to talk about splits, so... Ooh, splits. That's probably a 4-letter word. Splits and commissions, right? If you bring a buyer, we're 50-50 on it. You're going to get leads from me. You're going to generate your own leads. We're going to teach you how to do that. If you represent a seller, 60-40. The reason for that is there's a lot more expense on the team side for a listing. And then we encourage all agents to both serve buyers and sellers. There's a lot of teams that have a different idea on this. And that's fine. I don't think there's a right answer here. But in my opinion, if you have... Tell people to DM me. DM me if you want to copy the slideshow. That's like a message, right?
Direct message.
If your Aunt Sally wants to sell her house, I want you to be able to sell her house for her. If Brother Billy wants to buy a house, I want you to be able to work with Brother Billy. I don't want you to say, oh, well, I'm not qualified to work with sellers yet. I have to be here for 17 years before I can do that. Or, oh, I only work with sellers. I don't have time for buyers anymore. You have the freedom when you work on this team to do whatever you want. Ben's concentrating on referrals. He knows a lot of people all over the place. So if you don't live here, get in touch with us. We'll find you a great agent. So however you want to make money, you can make this business fit to you as long as you are in the office at 9, at the sales meeting at 9:35, and you call from 10 to 11. So the question may be, what do I do after that? You show properties. You negotiate contracts. What else do you do? Show properties, negotiate contracts.
Network.
Lead generation,
Lead generation,
prospecting,
yeah. Prospecting, networking.
networking, education.
Network, education. So this is our rock. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story, guy has a vase. Let's say this is the vase. He's got a couple big rocks. He's got some smaller rocks. He has some pebbles and he has some sand. If you put the big rocks in the vase and then the medium-sized rocks and then the small rocks and then you fill it with sand, it'll all fit. So this is our big rock. These are our pebbles and our sand. Okay, so this has to happen. If you pour the sand in first and then the pebbles and then the medium rocks and the big ones, it won't all fit.
Another thing that Autumn messaged in and said, go on appointments. Besides those first things, you gotta go on appointments.
Yeah. I'm too old for this. Yeah, so when you're after 11, show property, negotiate, and go on appointments. So I show up consistently. We do sales training at 9:35. Everyone's on Cardone University. It's a very expensive platform. It's extremely effective. It's actual sales training. 10 to 11 you call, and the reason you call is to find people that want to buy houses, sell houses, and go on appointments with you. And so if you're doing this, you're going to do this. And then if you don't have anyone to show property to and you don't have any contracts to negotiate or any appointments to go on, you go back and you find people. That is our business model. It's extremely simple. It is not easy to do, right? Because we know that the power is in the execution. This was eye-opening for me when I figured this one out, or someone told me. I'll move over here. Yeah, that's better. Real estate's a massive industry. Okay, we think of the energy sector, we think of the stock market, we think of the auto industry, the mining industry. Well, don't forget that real estate represents 13% of our gross domestic product. So 13% of all dollars exchanged in the United States are real estate. We have a massive effect on the economy. We are extremely important, needed, and necessary. So, I'm just a real estate agent. No, we represent 13%. Now, to compare this, the construction industry is huge, right? Well, it's only 4%. So we are 3+ times more powerful for the United States economy than construction. Last year, we did $1.3 trillion in existing home sales. This is just existing homes. These are huge numbers. So don't play small with this. Real estate is extremely important. This is an interesting infographic on where buyers come from. So half of them come from the internet now. 28% come from real estate agents. 7% from signs. 7% from relatives. 1% from newspaper and print ads. Why do you think we don't do ads in the Mail Tribune anymore?
Because they only account for 1%.
They're ineffective. And by the time it's printed, that house is probably sold or had a price reduction. It's gone. 3% went directly to a seller, right? You'd think that technology is disrupting us and Zillow is going to take over the world. It's just not going to happen. 5% connected with a home builder. So the bottom line on this is 78% of the business, which is internet and real estate agent, that 78% would come from us. We have a robust website. It's 541sold.com. We have Rutledge University, 541 Values. We attract a ton of internet traffic, and we know that half of home buyers found their house using the internet. So this is super huge. Super huge. Huge.
Huge.
That's it. Okay, let's get weird. What time is it? 4:23. Hi, Tara. You guys what did I miss? What do we want to hit on?
You want to give an opinion of where we're going market-wise in the next 6 months?
Yeah. Okay. It's funny, I saw someone misspell it today. I giggled. COVID. Is it safe to say there's some fear right now?
Yeah.
Safe to say, I heard a lot of people losing jobs. Let's compare this to 2008. In 2008, you were able to get 120% of your home's value in a mortgage. Okay, so that means if it was worth 200, you could get a loan for 240. There were ninja loans. No income, no job or assets. No income, no job, assets. Ninja. So the people that bought then shouldn't have bought. They overpaid. They borrowed more than houses were worth. And that was terrible. That didn't happen now. Every single person, and I am 100% certain that bought a house could afford to buy the house because the banks did not lend money to anybody buying houses that couldn't afford them. I don't know anyone that doesn't have equity in their house. Okay, so we have equity and we have ability to repay. So is the housing market going to crash? I don't think it will. Now, if interest rates go up and house prices fall, they will cancel each other out on a monthly cost basis. Oh, it's autumn. So yes, this will temporarily affect us, right? We probably won't sell as many houses this year as we did last year because of this, and it's simply the time. There's more and more people that are going to be staying inside because it sounds like the prudent thing to do. You know, I'd hate to be outside when it rains. So if you're thinking about selling, get your house on the market. And I'll always say that because we never know what tomorrow holds. We didn't know this was, we didn't know this was coming in November. All right, I think it was starting to happen in, I touched my face, I'm gonna get the disease. Right, and so in November, we didn't know what's happened. So November was a great time to sell, and now is also a great time to sell because we just don't know what tomorrow holds. This whole thing could blow over, and we'll keep rocking. And if it doesn't, if things go bad, if you're gonna make a move now. I'm all in on this market. We actually just closed the purchase of another home today for myself personally. So I'm bought into this market because the interest rates are low and because the fundamentals are solid. And the fundamentals are solid also. I went over this a little bit this morning. And I'll do another bar graph, so forgive me if it's lame. Buyer demand. Okay, these are buyers that buy houses, ready, willing, and able. Supply. This is what we've been dealing with for years and years and years and years and years. We got more buyers than we have sellers, and over time, that causes prices to go up. So even if 18% of this buyer pool, the 18% of people that lost their jobs go away, there's still more buyers than sellers. So if anything, this market, instead of doing this, it may do this. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Right, supply and demand. If there become more sellers than buyers, we will see prices drop. But that means I need a yardstick. Actually, this would be equal, right? Balanced market, that'd be 6 months of inventory. So we would pretty much need 80% of buyers to go away before there were more sellers than buyers. What's the likelihood of people just not needing homes to live in? We all going SpaceX, gonna move into tents, pods or something?
Not likely.
So market's safe. It may slow down a little bit. I might be able to take a vacation for like a day or something, but there's no real fear here.
So if I want to list my house, why should I list it with you? And if I'm thinking about getting into real estate, what are some things that you and your team bring to my potential career that make you a good fit for me?
Okay. You want to sell your house, Kat?
I do want to sell my house, but I'm scared people don't want to come in for showings.
Okay, COVID fear showings, right? I don't want strangers in my house, people coughing on my stuff. It's called a Matterport. You can put goggles on and you can 3D walk through our listings. We're in process of getting all of them mapped with this 3D camera. So 3D camera spins out in every room. You can see, you can log in, you can hit the website, and you can look down, you can look up, and you can physically walk through the entire house. So
you don't need goggles either.
Oh, but you can put them on. Goggles. So, Kat, if you're concerned about people showing your house, we're going to limit showings to always only qualified buyers. And B, we're going to have them Google Street View, Google Satellite, right? Check out the neighborhood, do a drive-by, and then watch a 3D rendering of it. Like, okay, we're going to have you virtually walk through the house. You'll get a pretty good idea of the size of the rooms. And if you're still interested, let's schedule a showing. So your showings may go from 10 a month to 2, but both of these guys are buyers for your house. Also, another thing that's gonna happen, rain or shine, until they drag me out of here in chains, you're gonna get a call every week. right? This is the consistency that compounds that we deal with in this business. If you have a house for sale or you're a buyer that's pending sale, every single Tuesday you're going to get a call from our office with an update. Good news, bad news, no news, number of showings you've had, and the feedback, right? Because if we don't have the data, we can't help you sell your house. If we had 10 showings, they all complained about the dog, the dog, the dog, the dog, the dog, and I talked to you about the dog, the dog, the dog, do we have a problem that we can solve?
Yes.
If we have 6 showings on your house and it's price too high, price too high, price too high, price too high, is that something that we can fix?
Absolutely.
If I'm not in communication with you, do you know there's a problem?
No. I don't
If
know
you
anything.
don't know there's a problem, can we fix it?
No.
So communication is key. That is the number one complaint people have when asked about their experience with real estate agents is lack of communication. We nip that in the bud. If you are a buyer and you buy a house, you're gonna get 5 calls the first 5 days. Questions, checking in, inspection scheduled, earnest money's due. Let's go.
And have you ever seen anything like this before? Like, I'm wondering if I should wait, or like why I should list with you versus anybody else.
I was a builder during the last boo-boo. I've seen this before, and started selling real estate in 2011, which was the bottom. So yeah, I know what it's like to sell $3 $60,000 houses a month and make no money. So yeah, know exactly what to do. If things do start to turn, we need to price ahead of the market, right? If there's one person that wants to sell their house and they're asking this, and then his neighbor loses his job and has to sell immediately, he's selling for this, and then the other neighbor sees that you're both selling and he lost his job and it sells for this, it becomes a race to the bottom. So the guy that starts too high, if there is a correction, loses. So we get realistic with you and shoot you straight on price. We're not going to try to buy your listing from you. And buying a listing means that we're telling you it's worth more than it is because we want our sign in the yard and we have no intention of selling it. So honesty, integrity, updates, the 3D thing is going to be huge. Featured on our website, property specific advertising. I put money to sell your house on Facebook and Instagram, not to advertise me, but to advertise your home.
Great, I'm sold.
Cat sold. Okay, thanks everyone for listening in. Did we have any questions?
No, but you haven't asked for questions yet.
Any questions? Hello. In a world of negativity that we're seeing right now, it's on the news, you're going to get thrown out of your regular habit loops. You're going to get tired easier. You're going to have a higher propensity to be negative. So really stay positive. We're going to be fine. Be certain. If you're feeling bad, call your clients, and there's someone out there needs something. Go do something good for someone else. Get yourself out of this negativity. Turn off the news. It doesn't matter. Houses are still selling. I think we have 34 pending right now. It's going to be okay. We're going to continue to sell right through this thing. Positive, 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 positive.